What have Charlotte Bronte, the Atom and 7 bridges got in common? Well, they're all associated with the beautiful village, hamlet even, of Wycoller in eastern Lancashire. So we're here to explore the area, have a look at the bridges and go and see the amazing Atom. So if you watched my earlier video about the singing ringing tree, I'll put a link to it at the end of this video. You'll know that there are 4 panopticons in East Lancashire. The Atom is one, which we're going to visit in a little while. And basically a panopticon is a sculpture with a view. And yes, I am back in Lancashire. The good folk of Lancashire, they could have warmed to me after my singing ringing tree video. I've not quite been given the keys to the city of Lancaster yet, but there's always time, isn't there? This is a lovely little walk so far. To the right, you might be able to see these stone slabs, which date back to medieval times, and they're actually there to keep the cattle in. So Wycoller comes from an old terms of wick meaning dairy farm and alder or olla meaning the alder tree. So the name of Wycoller comes from dairy farm by the alders. And when we get a little bit further round and get up to the top of the Atom, which I'm not quite sure if you can see, no, it's hidden by the trees, we'll be able to look over towards the town of Colne and Pendle Hill, which is where the witches hang out, of course. Right, I'll bring you back when we get down into the village, the hamlet of Wycoller. So as you come down these steps from the car park at the Atom, the first thing that you get to is Wycoller Hall, which Henry Cunliffe inherited at the grand old age of 21 in 1778. And when he died in 1818, because he was a bit of a prolific gambler, his estate had to be broken up and sold. And so it's been unoccupied pretty much ever since then, and it's now a ruin. And I'll spin you around and show you it in a moment, but bear in mind that Wycoller Hall was the inspiration for Ferndean Manor in Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre. Right, I'll spin you around and let's have a wander through the place.
Like the morning, mouth wide open like they yawning. Every time they see me, they in G-Shock. Homie, this is too far. Homie, I feel too alive. You can see me like Illuminati. You can see me like Illuminati. But I'm shining so bright, so bright. Don't come and try to share some of this light, no. Give me a beat and I control it like a maestro. Ladies on a mission, they be trying to get me wiped up. Shawty, wait a minute, can't tell if I like ya. Gotta make sure you know how to shake it like a bartender. Team with me and they all winners. And you know we ballin' all winter, all summer. Jewelry around my neck is lightning, but I'm all thunder. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Place your bets on us. Get your money and flip it, yeah. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Place your bets on us. Get your money and flip it. Bring a friend and come along. Don't be taking too long. The vibe's too strong. If you don't know how to move, then we moving on. Ain't no way rhythmic feet up in this place. If you can't catch the feeling, then get out the way. I've been reeling and fish from the lake. They keep saying I'm down to earth, but I'm really out of space. All these women aliens, super foreign, so exotic. Hop in the Mercedes Benz.
So Wycoller Beck flows through the hamlet of Wycoller, as you would expect, and there are 7 bridges in this hamlet. Why a hamlet needs 7 bridges, Lord only knows, but there are 7. 3 of them are ancient monuments. We have Clam Bridge, which I'm going to spin you around and show you now. This is the oldest of the 3 bridges. It's an ancient monument. It dates back to between 1 and 6,000 years old, and it's a single piece of stone that goes across the beck. I'll spin you around and we'll have a look at it. Then further on we've got Clapper's Bridge, and then a little bit further we've got the Packhorse Bridge. All 3 of those are ancient monuments. I seem to be a bit obsessed with bridges, don't I? Do you remember after we went to see Slater's Bridge? I think I might need some counselling, but that's a bridge we'll cross when we get to it, eh? Right, I'll spin you around. Have a look at this. So as I said, this is Clam Bridge and it looks well worn. Between 1 and 6,000 years old. We'll go across. And you might be able to make out on the right hand side, there are actually holes on the right hand side, believed to have held railings at some point in the past. The more observant of you might have noticed that I'm wearing bright red trainers today. Some Salomon Ultra Glide 2s. Good trail running shoes. The reason I'm wearing them is because I forgot my hiking boots at home, didn't I? Luckily, the paths are pretty good tracks, and it's not too muddy. You might also wondering why I'm dressed up all green like I'm Kermit the Bloody Frog. Well, that's in homage to one of my subscribers and good mate who commented on my wild camping Genius or Muppet video. A nice little comment from, or quote even, from Kermit the Frog. So in homage to that, I've come out all dressed in green, apart from the red trainers. And every village should have a pond, shouldn't there? Try not to disturb the ducks as I go past. Bloody hell, look at the size of the sparrows they have around here. A massive bird box. I know. Does anybody know what these are? Put something in the comments if you do. So this is Clapper's Bridge, also goes by the names of Hall Bridge, Druids Bridge and Weaver Bridge. Also another ancient monument. This one's a bit more sophisticated though, isn't it? So we're coming up to the Packhorse Bridge now, also known as Sally's Bridge. Have a guess as to why you think it might have been called the Packhorse Bridge. But this bridge is also an ancient monument and was featured in the Railway Children. And it's on this bridge where Jenny Agatha meets the Doctor. So, the hamlet of Wycoller was originally developed around agriculture, but by 1820 its population had increased to around 350 as it became a centre for handloom weaving. However, the Industrial Revolution brought about its decline as people left to work in the factories of larger towns, and by 1871 the weavers had left and Wycoller was back to being a farming community again. There were plans to flood the place and turn it into a reservoir so that the people of Colne could have some water. That plan was shelved though when someone suggested they turn a tap on. And now Wycoller has been restored, people live here again, and it's now a Wycoller country park. Out for a door. Almost as obsessed with doors as I am bridges, to go on my obsession of knockers. And as we get to the edge of the hamlet, I can confirm the 7th and final bridge being crossed. Do you know, I think I could live there if I had a checkbook large enough. And looking up towards the hillside there and over, just round the corner of behind those trees, is the atom that we'll be heading to. So the village or hamlet of Wycoller sits on the Pendle Way, the Bronte Way, and also the Pennine Bridle Way. So plenty of walks to go on that will take you through this village if you so desire. So I've wandered through the little hamlet now, just to confirm there are 7 bridges as stated, and I can confirm there are. And I've just spoken to a local who informed me that it's called Wycoller, not Wycoller. So I've been calling it Wycoller the entire time. What a muppet, honestly. You say potato, I say potato. What a stunning place though. If you're ever in the area of Colne, East Lancashire, or visiting Haworth to see where the Brontes used to be, you definitely want to come here and have a look around, because it's stunning. I think it's going to get a bit muddier now. Teach me to forget my hiking boots, won't it? Managed to get through that without getting too muddy. I will never know. Thank goodness. Right, you might be able to see the atom right in front of us in the distance. I'll see if I can zoom in. And then over in the far distance, just in the clag, is Pendle Hill, where the witches used to live. Looking over to Pendle Hill in the distance, and it's spanning on left around Wycoller Country Park, Wycoller Country Park, and then onto the moors and up over the top, over in the far distance, 9 miles away, is the village of Haworth, where the Brontes used to live, and Charlotte Bronte used to come over here and come and spend time in Wycoller. Completed in 2006, the atom was designed by Peter Meacock and architects WCW, and there used to be a polished steel ball inside it until some bugger stole it.
Don't come and try to share some of this light, no. Give me a beat and I control it like a maestro. Ladies on a mission, they be trying to get me wiped up. Shawty, wait a minute, can't tell if I like ya. Gotta make sure you know how to shake it like a like a bartender. Team with me and they all winners. And you know we ballin' all winter, all summer. Jewelry around my neck is lightning, but I'm all thunder. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Place your bets on us. Get your money and flip it, yeah. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Place your bets on us. Get your money and flip it. Bring a friend and come along. Don't be taking too long. The vibe's too strong. If you don't know how to move, then we moving on. Ain't no way rhythmic feet up in this place. If you can't catch the feeling, then get out the way. I've been reeling and fish from the lake. They keep saying I'm down to earth, but I'm really out of space. All these women aliens, super foreign, so exotic. Hopping the Mercedes Benz, and I got them crushing like ice pouring above. It's overflowing on us. You drop it, then pick it up. I think I'm falling in love, but shawty, this isn't what you probably thinking it was. It's a vibe out, cooling it for the weekend. It's us. You gon' find out once you come on and bring me that up. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Place your bets on us. Get your money and flip it, yeah. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Keep coming with it. Place your bets on us. Get your money and flip it.
So I hope you've enjoyed this tour of Wycoller and the Atom. If you have, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you don't already do so, and yeah, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Ta-ra!